I've been shooting 35mm a lot this year, and it's completely changed how I compose photos. Not because 35 is better than other focal lengths, but because shooting wide forces you to solve a specific problem. How do you include more of a scene without making your images look cluttered and chaotic? So here are the 3 things shooting wide taught me about composition, and you can apply these at any focal length. The first thing shooting wide taught me, I needed to find an anchor. Take a look at this scene. Trees, buildings, pathway, bridge, boat, water, tons of elements. When I first started shooting wide, I'd look at a scene like this and think, there's way too much going on here. I need to cut things out and find a cleaner composition. But I learned to do the opposite. Instead of excluding, I started organizing. The lighthouse became my anchor. Everything else in the frame relates to it. The pathway leads toward it, the boat balances it, the people give it life, the trees frame it. Once I had that one clear element grounding the frame, I could include all this context without it feeling chaotic. And you've got the same thing here. This beach scene has people scattered everywhere. White rocks, a tree, an industrial background. There's a lot to look at, but it's manageable. The tree became the anchor. It grounds the right side of the frame. The white rocks create a leading line toward it, and the people become atmosphere. The industrial building provides the context, but the tree is what holds it all together. So I find the anchor first, and then build the context around it. Your anchor could be a person, a building, a tree, any strong visual element. What matters is having something clear that grounds your frame. Then everything else you include can support that element instead of competing with it. Now here's where it can still go wrong. You find your anchor, and then fill the rest of the frame with whatever happens to be there. That's how you can end up with mess. So here's how I organize it. The second thing I learned is how to use layers to create depth and separation. When you're shooting wide, you're dealing with more space and more depth. The way that you keep everything organized is by thinking in 3 layers: foreground, middle ground, and background. This is how I separate the anchor from everything else and create a sense of depth. In this image, the foreground is made up of the rocky beach with the kids' toys. You can see individual pebbles, the orange boat anchoring the bottom of the frame. That's the close, detailed layer. In the middle ground, there's the water with the gentle wave rolling in and the bird in flight adding energy. And then all the way in the background, you have those industrial ships silhouetted against the sunset. They're far enough away to be atmospheric rather than distracting, but they give you context for the environment. So you have 3 distinct layers, each at a different distance, and each serving a purpose to the overall image. And we have the same principle here. The tall grass in the foreground creates depth and frames the scene. Then you have the beach with the people and the tent in the middle ground, followed by the water and horizon in the background. So once I have my anchor, I ask, what's in front of it? What's at the same distance? And then what's behind it? Your anchor doesn't always have to be far away in the middle ground. Sometimes you're working a scene up close. But thinking in zones is what helps create separation and depth. Placing elements at different distances is what helps keep a wide composition organized and interesting. The foreground adds depth and leads the eye in, the middle ground is where your anchor lives, and the background provides context and atmosphere. When you're conscious of those 3 layers, you can include a lot more information without it feeling messy. Okay, so you've got your anchor and your layers are organized. But here's what took my composition to another level: placement. The third thing, using placement and leading lines to guide the viewer's eye. When you have more frame to work with, where exactly you place your anchor and how you arrange the other elements determines how someone experiences the image. You're not just filling space, you're creating a path for the viewer's eye to follow. Take a look at this image. The kid is positioned in the left third of the frame, looking at the birds nearby. But then those birds create a path across the frame as they fly to the right, and your eye follows them toward the other edge. By placing the kid on the left, rather than centering them, you get this visual flow. Your eye starts with the kid, moves to what they're looking at, then follows the movement across the entire width of the frame. The placement choice creates movement and guides how someone experiences the photo. Same principle here. The dock walkway creates a leading line from the foreground, leading your eye to the white boat and the people, then to the massive industrial ship further back. That walkway positioned on the left creates a journey through the image, a clear path for your eye to follow from front to back. So I think about, where does the viewer's eye enter the frame? Where do I want it to go next? And what path am I creating? There's nothing wrong with centered placement if you're considering where you want the eye to go next. You can use leading lines, pathways, architectural elements, natural lines, eye lines, like where people are looking, to guide attention. And I'm always looking at the edges of the frame and how elements relate to each other across the entire width and depth of the image. Every placement choice changes how the viewer's eye moves through your composition. Now here's the thing, these aren't just 35mm techniques. These are composition principles that can apply at any focal length. Shooting wide regularly forced me to learn these things because you just can't hide from them. I had to find an anchor, I had to organize layers, I had to think about placement and flow, otherwise I'd get chaos. But once I learned these principles from shooting wide, I could apply them everywhere. I still shoot other focal lengths, I love tighter compositions. Everything has its time and place. But what shooting 35 taught me is how to manage complexity while maintaining control, how to include context without making a mess, how to build images that feel complete and intentional, and altogether more alive. And honestly, it's made everything I shoot stronger, regardless of what lens I'm using. So if you've been shooting the same way for a while, try going wider for a bit. Not because it's better, but because it'll force you to think differently about composition. And maybe you've been doing some of this stuff already. I definitely was, but now that I'm more aware of it, I can increase my hit rate on good images more often. And those lessons will stick with you, no matter what gear you're using. So to recap, 1. Find your anchor. Wide frames work better with something to ground them. Choose your anchor first, then build the context around it. 2. Organize in layers. Use foreground, middle ground, and background to create depth and separation. Place your visual elements at different distances. And 3. Create flow with placement. Use off-center positioning and leading lines to guide the viewer's eye through the image. Those 3 things completely changed how I compose, and they came from shooting wide and learning to manage more complex frames. For what it's worth, I've been shooting with the Canon RF 35 1.8, and it punches way above its weight class. But these principles apply whether you're shooting a prime, a zoom, or even your phone. And if you want more composition breakdowns just like this, I send out a weekly newsletter too. Links in the description below. And quick announcement, by the time this goes up, we should be right around 10,000 subscribers. Thank you so much. Seriously, it's been a crazy 6 months on this channel. I'm doing a Q&A to celebrate, so drop your burning questions below with hashtag Q&A. Photography, gear, about me, whatever you want to know, leave it down below. That wasn't supposed to rhyme, but it did. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.